Hey, what's up guys? My name is Eric Jones and this is Metal 5, The Sessions. In this series, up until this point, what we've done is we've taken a very academic approach to the teaching and instruction when it comes to coin magic. We're going to blow all that out the window this time, and we're going to have a jam session of magic, where what I'm going to do is take a few questions that I've gotten over the years and pair them with pieces of magic that I've created specifically for this project, some of them only a couple of years old. I'm also going to teach you one of the most difficult pieces of magic I have ever created. I'm going to show you ways to cause coins to vanish when you're sitting without a table present. I'm going to show you how to get coins to vanish. You know, there's an old technique called sleeving. I'm going to show you how you can make that technique deceptive for your audience so they don't ever suspect it, let alone detect it, and so much more. I really hope you enjoy all of the material that I have for you. This is Metal 5. So I hope you enjoyed the performance of Evanesce. As I mentioned, it's probably one of the most difficult pieces of magic I've ever created. Not because technically it's difficult, but because the method is so direct that it takes a bit of layering to make it deceptive. Before I teach the actual secret, I do want to give you a bit of a discussion on a technique called the JW grip, because it's something that we're going to use frequently throughout this video. What I want you to do is I want you to take a coin and I want you to hold it at the base of your middle and your ring fingers in your dominant hand. I'm left-handed, so that's my dominant hand. From this point, what I want you to do is curl the fingers in so that when you turn the hand palm down, the coin doesn't fall to the floor. That's called finger palm. From this point, what you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and place it on the coin and extend all 4 fingers as a unit, so that if you were to lift those 4 fingers, the coin would sit on the pad of the thumb, kind of like that. You're going to use that to your advantage by pushing the coin towards the index finger side of the hand so about half of the coin sticks out, like so. Then you're going to curl your index finger around the coin at 2 places, at the base of the index finger and at the pad of the index finger, so you grip the coin by the edges like this. And because we're all using different size coins, we have different size hands, you'll have to find the position that feels the best for you. Once you've found that location that feels comfortable for you, you want to let go with your thumb and curl the fingers in. From the front, this is what your audience would see. To keep them from seeing the coin, you allow your middle finger to contact this edge of the coin, which obscures it from your audience's point of view. To keep them from seeing between the fingers or from above, you curl the ring and the pinky finger as well, and then the middle finger and thumb create the letter C. This is a technique called the JW grip. The great thing about this is if the hands were to mirror each other, it looks like you're able to see between the fingers, the palms of the hands completely empty, even though you are concealing a coin. Now, that's the basic technique. I'll show you how to get out of it, or how to produce a coin from this position, just for shits and giggles. Watch. If you place your thumb on the coin, extend all 4 fingers as a unit, and then 3 things will happen in quick succession. Your thumb will push the coin towards the fingertips. At the same time, the fingertips will curl back to expose the coin. At the same time, you turn the hand at the forearm and the wrist to reveal it. So from the finger palm into the JW grip, then the production. Now, the reason I'm teaching you this is because we're going to use this concealment quite frequently throughout the video for several different ways to cause a coin to vanish. Now, in and of itself, this is a very deceptive concealment. It looks like the hand is empty, but you can only hold the hands in this position for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. If you do this more than 2 or 3 seconds, it looks like you're throwing up a gang sign, right? So what you want to do is we're going to teach you a couple of ways to make this a complete coin vanish, so that you're able to cause the coin to hide either in plain sight or in your clothing or around your body. The technique that we're going to use is something that I invented several years ago called the JW grip muscle pass. The JW grip muscle pass. The only difference between the JW grip and the JW grip version that we're going to use is that you want a little bit more of the coin exposed. You want at least half of the coin exposed from the hand, like this. With a regular JW grip, less than half of the coin is exposed. In this instance, you want a little bit more. It's also going to be very important, hopefully we can get that there. You'll notice how the edges are kind of filed down a little bit. These are really old coins, so the edges of the coins have also lost a little bit of their grip. Now that is going to be used to your advantage in a moment, because when I hold the coin in this exact position, by squeezing the index finger like a trigger, it's going to cause the coin to spring or squirt out of my index finger like a pumpkin seed, like this. So the coin will squirt. The more that you squeeze, the further the coin will go. Now that you understand the basic mechanics of how to use the JW Grip Muscle Pass, let's give it some practical application. Here's another really cool mystery with a single coin. All I have to do is close the hand around it. If I rub on the back of the hand, I can create the illusion that the coin completely vanishes. It's kind of strange.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep saying like a word you don't know.
So we've had a discussion about Evanesce and a couple of the components that go into that, including the JW Grip and the JW Grip Muscle Pass. What I wanted to do now is give you a couple of options that you can use in case you decide you want to do a complete coin vanish, but you don't want to take the risk of placing a coin in plain sight on your body. So you saw in the performance that you can use the JW Grip to place a coin into the sleeve. In order to do this, you start by placing the coin onto the palm of the hand. Then you close your hand around the coin in a very specific way. As I begin to close my hand around the coin, you'll notice how my ring finger contacts the edge of the coin so that as I turn the hand palm down, it rests there temporarily. I then extend the the ring finger as far as I can and squeeze it as I close the hand into a fist, placing the coin into what's known as a heel clip. So again, I start closing the hand, the ring finger contacts the coin, it rests on the tip of the ring finger so that as the hand closes, I can push or pull push the ring finger as far as it can so the coin goes as far away from the fingertips as it can, so that as I close the hand into a fist, the coin rests in this heel clip position where it's 99% out of the hand, but from the front it looks as if it's still in the hand. So the actions you're emulating are of turning the hand palm down, leaving the hand closed. In real time, same amount of time gets the coin there. And I came up with using this method as I taught elsewhere in the middle series, because what I always hated was people who turned the hand palm down and then you see these knuckles pop a lot as they slide the coin into the heel clip. But you can do this as the hand turns palm down, so by the time the fingers close and the hand turns palm down, there's no extraneous finger motion. Once the coin is in this heel clip position, what I'm going to do now is use the middle finger to rub on the back of the hand at the same time. The thumb is going to contact the coin, and the coin will then rest on the pad of the thumb. As I massage the hand, I'm going to use the back of the hand as cover as the thumb comes up to the index finger and transfers the coin into the JW grip as I rotate. It all happens really quick. Sometimes there's a very small flash of about that much distance as the coin comes down. So what you can do is you can bring the hand down for just a moment as you continue to rub. So again, from the heel clip position, you can show the hand, you give a little bit of a rub, and you are now in the JW grip position. From this point, you'll notice how there's a little bit of a gap between the bottom of the wrist and the bottom of the sleeve. I'm going to use this to my advantage as I rub. I'll come forward and I'm going to use that JW grip muscle pass to squeeze the coin into the sleeve. So exposed view, I'm here, I go into the JW grip, and then as I come forward, I shoot the coin into the sleeve as I wave over the hand, and that causes the coin to vanish. From the front, you get to see the coin, closes into the fist, I'll rub, and then squeeze the coin into the sleeve as the coin completely vanishes. And that is the JW grip muscle pass into the sleeve to be used as a complete coin vanish. So guys, I want to show you guys something with a little Walking Liberty American half dollar. It's a really interesting thing. Don't take your eyes off the coin for even a moment. If I give it a little squeeze, it completely goes. Oh. And an ugly coat. So now we've discussed how to place a coin into the sleeve using the JW grip muscle pass, but the next thing that I want to do is show you another alternative, a way to use the JW grip muscle pass to place a coin into a top pocket. Right now I don't have a top pocket, but I do have a jacket that I bought specifically for this shoot. So I'll put that bad boy on. How the hell does that happen? Oh, I didn't place it in the sleeve. I placed it under the sleeve like a dummy. So I'll get this bad boy on, and I'm leaving the tag on because I'm not keeping this jacket. I'm taking it back as soon as we're done here. I don't want you to think that I'm doing anything cool. I'm being a complete dork. I'm going to get my money back. And I'm going to place a bit of fabric inside of the top pocket. That way the top pocket will stay open. And I thought I had some material. Boom. I'll just use my mask because we are in quarantine. And I think this is a kind of a cool mask. If you're reading this, you're too close. So give me 6 feet. I'm going to roll this bad boy up and I'm going to place it right here into the top pocket. That's going to open the pocket enough that I'll be able to hit the mark, hit this hole here just a little bit. So forgive the way the jacket looks. I'm not doing this for fashion at all. I'm doing it just for functionality. That's the only thing that I have this for. So remember the wither style vanish that we used at the very beginning to create the illusion that the coin vanishes for Evanesce. We're going to do the same procedure. We're going to show the coin, clip it between the index finger and the middle finger like so. And that will happen as the other hand blocks. As soon as the hand covers, you get that coin clipped. Your thumb will pretend to grab the coin. Now this is where things are going to get interesting. You're going to bring this hand over the pocket from your spectator's line of sight. So the edge of the pocket's here. You want that covered. So I'm going to show here, then I'm going to come across. Because what's going to happen in exposed view is I'm going to squeeze that coin directly into the top pocket. So the hand is going to obscure the object that I'm trying to conceal from my spectator's line of vision. So from here to here, oops, pardon me, pocket wasn't closed. So I show the coin, then I come over to where the pocket is. Oops, I did that, and I apologize, I did that too high. Because you have to put the hand in line with where the coin is, if not just a little bit above. You come a little close, boom, squeeze, and it goes in. I'll do it one more time. I show the coin, comes into this position, boom. We'll try it again. This time off from the side, so that you guys can see this. Do it from the side this time. Get that pocket nice and wide. Show the coin, clip it between the index finger, bring it into this position, bring the hand back, and then come forward. From the front once more. You show the coin, clip, squeeze, then the coin vanishes. I'll do it from the other side one more time, that way we can get all the angles. Again, have to get that hole nice and open. Grab the coin, clip, bring the hand back, come forward, and back. And the thing to remember with this particular vanish is that you want to do the squeeze as the hand comes back. So you want this kind of action. So you rock and then come forward. Boom, boom. Trap the coin between, squeeze, come back forward. Because you want this distance to be as close as you can. You can shoot it, but you're the further out you do the move, the more likely you are to flash. The closer you are to the pocket when you do the move, the less likely. So boom, I'm going to come really close to the pocket. Boom. But if I do that same move from way out here, like you see how much distance, that's almost the entire length of my arm, I'm guaranteed no matter where I hold to flash. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you saw a big flash there. But if I do it pretty close, nowhere near as likely. So that is how to get a coin from JW Grip Muscle Pass into the pocket while wearing an ugly coat. So guys, what you're about to see is something that I've worked on for several years, but it is by no means perfect. I've got to give you that information in full disclosure. It'll also give you an idea of how I think about magic when I create. I look for really simple plots that have very direct methods, and nothing is more direct than imagining having a coin at the fingertips and causing that coin to completely vanish with the sleeves rolled up. That is Evanesce. Okay, so now that you understand how both the JW Grip and the JW Grip Muscle Pass work, we're going to put that into a practical application now for a thing that I call Evanesce. Again, it's one of the most difficult techniques, but it's also a very direct technique. Shutagawa and Apollo Robbins came up with a thing on a DVD from years ago called Cultural Exchange, and they had a vanish called the Wither Vanish. While I'm not at liberty to give you all of the details on how that particular vanish works, I can give you enough information so that you can see how to use it in the context of Evanesce. What happens is I'm going to hold the coin at the index finger, the middle finger, and the thumb, and my free hand is going to pretend to grab the coin. So my fingers conceal it from the front, the thumb pretends to grab it from behind. But as soon as the fingers from the front obscure the coin, I'm going to clip it between the index finger, the middle finger, the curled middle finger, and the thumb lets go, like so. That way the hand can come away. So it looks like the coin is here, even though it's just there. From this point, I'm going to transfer the coin up into the JW grip as I pretend to grab the coin at the fingertips. So it goes from here to here. Again, from here to here. I grab, transfer. But instead of going to immediately grab, I'm going to pause for just a moment. And I'm going to use the back of the hand, the back of the fingers, and the forearm to create a track. And that track is where the coin is going to be shot from JW grip onto the forearm. But here's something that I failed to mention. What you want to do at the very outset, before you perform this piece of magic, is you want to place a little bit of wetness, a little moisture onto the forearm, because that's where the coin's going to go, believe it or not. What I like to do before I perform is I take a cold drink, something that's got some condensation on it. I apply that condensation to the forearm. In a situation where I don't have that, a little saliva will work. Or if you have a little chapstick, you can put a little chapstick on the forearm as well. Just something that when you place the coin there, it will cause the coin to stick to the skin. That will make sure that the coin doesn't bounce off in just a moment. So once more, you're going to pretend to grab the coin. So you're going to clip the coin between your index finger and your middle finger behind the cover of the hand as you rotate it up into the JW grip. You squeeze using that JW grip muscle pass, and the coin will stick on the forearm, like so. And again, you're using the forearm, the back of the hand, to get the coin to stay there. From the front, because this is elevated from your spectator's line of view, even though the coin is hidden in plain sight, they won't see it. And again, it just follows the contour of the hand all the way down. From this point, you can cleanly, because the hand's now empty, which will fool people who know the original Wither Vanish, pretend to grab the coin, knead it into nothing, and then show the hands empty. There's a few ways that you can clean up from this position, but remember that you've got a coin sitting here. One of the ways that you can do this is you can go to roll back the sleeve, and as you do, you finger palm this as you come away. Another thing that you can do is you can roll the sleeves down and lift the sleeve up so that you can show the hands empty. And then at an opportune moment, you allow the coin to fall out. So if you want to do a color change, you have the original coin, and then you have a coin that you'd like to change the original coin into, something that just contrasts with it. Or you can replace this with a finger ring, a dollar bill, whatever you want to change it into. Have that in finger palm in your non-dominant hand. And your dominant hand, you're going to go into the Wither Vanish. You're going to place the coin into the hidden spot, and then you massage the coin or whatever it's going to change into as you reveal it. Yeah? Then what you want to do is, as you hand this out to be examined, you can squeeze the forearm against the bicep so that now your hands are seen empty, sleeves rolled up, there's nothing to hide. When you take this back, you can place it onto the fingers, you can grab it, and as you rub, you can change it back into the original item. And the way you would do that is you place the coin here, the other one rests here. You'll pretend to grab this as you curl the fingers in. Just a simple take vanish. Place your fingers on top, start curling the fingers in as you rotate the hand forward with the thumb behind as if it might be holding a coin. As soon as the hand obscures the coin at the elbow, you can drop the arm, your thumb comes back to grab this, and as you rub, you come away. But from the front, you show the coin, then you take it and you rub, and it looks like it changes right at the fingertips. So guys, I want to show you something really simple, but something interesting right about there. I don't know if you can see it. This is an old Walking Liberty American half dollar. I encourage you to check it out. Make sure it's exactly what it seems to be. It doesn't break apart or anything like that. But the trick that I'm going to do uses 2 coins. So I'll hold on to this one, but I also need another. I don't know if you can see it there, right about here. Yeah, that's coin number 2. I want you to watch what you're about to see as closely as you can, because this is going to feel and look like trick photography.
What's this guy doing? I don't know, man. I don't know how we got here.
So guys, this is the explanation for a thing that I call 2 coins with a Z. The idea is that I wanted a 2-coin production and vanish sequence that used a couple of ideas that I came up with over the years that culminate into a really strong impromptu piece of magic. You don't even need coins. You can borrow a single coin and perform this entire thing. The only thing that is required is that you wear a ring. Now I wear a ring on my index finger, but you can wear it on any of them and it'll work. And it also would help if you were wearing sleeves. You start off by producing a coin in any way that you know how. You can just reach into the air and grab a coin, or you can do like I did, and I use my index finger and middle finger to do this Troy Hooser thing where I clip the fabric of the cloth. Clip the fabric of my sleeve rather, and then I push the coin down the fingertips until it's clipped underneath that bit of fabric that I've pinched. So it looks like this. Once it's there, if I pull away, it creates a really cool production. So from finger palm, I can squeeze, and then I can open the hand so you can see an empty hand. So it really looks like nothing's there before you produce the coin. Now I'm going to just do a false transfer into the other hand. So as I close the hand around these coins, I'm going to squeeze this coin between my thumb and my middle finger so it goes horizontal, parallel to the floor and the ceiling, and close the hand. Like that. Just a retention of vision vanish, more or less. Then I'm going to come back to the sleeve while the coin is still here at fingertip rest essentially, clip it between the index finger and the middle finger once more, like scissors. So I clip the 2 here, squeeze that coin down, release, and then pop. So now the audience believes that I have 2 coins when I only have the 1. So I'll do that again, up to speed. So boom, there's 1 coin. Boom, there's a 2nd coin. Now what I'm going to do is create the illusion that I'm placing 2 coins into the hand. If I had 2 coins, if I have one here and I have one here, when I drop, it would make an audible clink as I drop that into the other hand. So remember, in this situation, you've done a false transfer, so there's nothing in this hand, even though they believe there's something here, and now you got the 2nd coin. So if I was to drop this into the hand, there would be no sound because logically I only have the 1 coin. But to create the illusion that you do, you're going to leave the coin suspended in the air, open the hand, and allow the ring to hit it as you push the hand forward. That creates the illusion that you have 2 coins in the hand. So watch. 1, 2. It sounds sonically, audibly, as if you have 2 coins into the hand. So now I'm going to reach in with my index finger and thumb and pull out the only coin that I have. But again, your audience will believe that you have a coin here. And I'm going to hold this coin in my fingers with my thumb on the very tip of it, like so. And I'm going to gesture as I talk, and at an opportune moment, I allow the pinky side of the hand to hit the sleeve, which will send that coin into the sleeve all the way down to the elbow. Then I can pantomime the idea or the action of having a coin that I then make vanish, and then I make the other coin vanish. So it sounds as if you have 2 coins. You take one of them, one here, and if you watch, if I toss and toss, it looks like 2 coins have been produced and then vanished all in one quick sequence. One more time. You take the first coin, it goes into the hand. You take the second one, you produce it. As you drop, leave the coin suspended in the air, the hand opens and pushes, and that causes the coin to fall into the hand, which sounds like you have 2. I'll show this coin. It goes underneath and into the sleeve as I cause that one to vanish, or vice versa. And it ends up again being a really cool 2-coin vanish that you can do if you borrow a single quarter from someone. You can do this miracle. It's called 2 coins. I really hope you enjoy it. So in 2 coins, as you saw, it's a production and a vanish sequence of 2 coins that only utilize 1 coin throughout the entire process, with the utilization of sleeving and a click pass that I created using a finger ring. I want to say that this is an exercise that you can perform anytime you're just hanging out. If you ever have a person who says, you know what, have you got a trick that you can do? And you don't have anything on you, this is one of those things where you can borrow a coin, you can do this routine, and then produce 2 coins and then hand them theirs back and then make the other one vanish. I've performed this for like when delivery people come over, and pre-COVID, when delivery people would come over and I was going to do a bit of magic for them, and then I would take the 2 coins and turn them into a $5 bill and then give that $5 bill out as a tip to the delivery person. I've done it at restaurants for the servers. I've done it at convenience stores for the cashier. It's one of those things that if you can borrow a quarter, you've got a miracle on your hands. Like I said, all you need to do is wear a ring. Like I wear one every day, and you just need to have a sleeve. If you can do that, you've got an absolute miracle, and I really do hope you give this a shot. It's really worth your time. Again, this was 2 coins. There's an old saying in magic that the quickness of the hand deceives the eye, or the hand is faster than the eye. I'm going to prove that that's not the case. I want you to watch both of my hands and watch the coin. I'll go as slowly as I possibly can. All you need to do is watch as that coin slowly, completely vanishes.
Wow.
So earlier on this video, we had a conversation about using the JW Grip Muscle Pass to place a coin into the sleeve. Now, you just saw a performance of me doing something very similar without having to use the JW Grip. What I love about this technique when it comes to sleeving is the fact that it's so nonchalant. You can sleeve whenever you're ready. There's absolutely no pressure. And the moment that you sleeve, it's not suspected, let alone detected by your audience. You turn your hand palm up, you place a coin on the very center of your palm, and the way I discussed elsewhere on this video, well, as you turn the hand palm down, you allow your ring finger to contact the coin, so that as you turn the hand palm down, you can then draw that coin into heel clip, like so. But you won't be able to see the coin from the front or from the sides. What's going to happen is the other hand is going to approach, wave underneath, and then wave over. As it waves underneath, the ring finger is going to contact the coin and it balances on the ring finger. You won't be able to see this because the hand and the forearm and the wrist block it. But from underneath, what's going to take place is as you grab this coin, you're going to allow it to go into the sleeve as you wave under and then wave over. I'll do that again. Show the coin, it goes into the heel clip. And then as you approach, you wave and then wave. And then the coin vanishes. And you don't need to have the sleeve this far up either. You can actually do this as if your sleeve was rolled back a little bit more. Like this. You just need a hole that the coin can go in. So I can show that there's nothing here. Place the coin into that heel clip. Boom. And then once I've waved, here's something else that I like to do. I like to pull the sleeve back. Then do a pantomime transfer of the coin from this hand into this hand as I cleanly roll this sleeve back. Then I can really milk the idea that the coin is slowly being compressed into nothing before it vanishes. So I'll do it in performance speed one more time so you can get an idea of how that looks. Once more, watch the coin. I'll close my hand around it. It's there. All I have to do is wave, watch. And there you have a technique where you can cause the coin to completely vanish at your pace. A couple of things to note about this. You want to make sure that you're pretty close to your spectators. The closer you are to them so that they get a downward view of the hand ensures that even from the side they won't be able to see the coin. If they're too far back, they might see an edge because this does stick out of the back of the hand a little bit. But as long as they are directly above it, there's no chance for them to see anything all the way around. The next thing to note is that you don't have to use the ring finger. If you want to use the pinky so that you can go from here directly into the sleeve slowly, that works as well. You can also use the middle finger. I would definitely suggest either the ring or the pinky, only because you want this look of the hand being completely free. The other thing that I would suggest is making sure that you follow the contour of the forearm and the wrist as you go. You don't want to drop too far, because if you drop too far, they're going to see the coin. The other thing I would suggest is making sure that you move briskly, but at a decent pace. You don't want to go too fast, because you stand a chance of dropping the coin like I just did. Let me grab another one. You don't want to go too fast, but you also don't want to go too slow, because the slower the action is, the more they can track it. But if I show you the hand and then I say, gee whiz, sudden burst of gravity. So if I move at a moderate pace, so it just looks like I'm waving underneath and then waving over, then you can cause that coin to vanish. I'll do that again. Expose view. Watch that speed. It just looks like I wave underneath and then wave over, and that causes the coin to vanish. Once more. And I'm giving you the repetition that way you don't have to keep going back over the video and seeing it. You have it real time. Watch. That is so deceptive. Last but not least, you notice a couple of times the coin gets hung up right here. The way to combat that is by using inertia. So you bring the hand towards the sleeve with a little bit of rigor, a little bit of force. But when the hand stops, the coin will continue on. my hand stops here, but the coin will continue. So when you do that into the sleeve, you can shoot that coin further back. But if you do that technique where you use the pinky, you want to make sure you do the same thing so the coin gets lodged further back here than up here at the sleeve, at the mouth of the sleeve. So those are just a couple of techniques that I think will help you learn how to sleeve the coin a little bit better as it regards to using the ring finger or the pinky finger to drop the coin into the sleeve. And I really hope you enjoy this. This is something that I do with a borrowed finger ring. I'll do it with a borrowed coin in a situation where you can do this completely surrounded. There are no real ankle considerations unless you're have people who are too far away from the place where the magic's happening. But as long as you have people looking down, you can do it 360 degrees and it's amazing. I really do hope you give it a try. So you don't have to say a spell. All you have to do is toss it the right height into the air so that when you catch it, you actually see the moment it vanishes. But it doesn't vanish, it comes back down. If I catch it, I can get it to become visible once more.
Okay. So here's the test is going to be it. I detest it. I fucking hate this thing. It's not even a joke. It's nuts. It's not even a joke. That's not even a joke, though.
Okay, so this is a very bold vanish. It's also going to be, it's really knacky. It's going to take a little bit of practice to get right. I'll tell you how I came up with this. I was hanging out with a few magicians at a magic convention, and we were doing challenges, trying to figure out what kind of cool things we can do. And one of them started playing with a sleeving idea, and I said, oh, you know what would be awesome? If I tossed this coin to you and you caught it in your sleeve. And they were like, what? So we spent the entire convention just throwing coins to each other and trying to catch them in our sleeve. So I'm going to grab this ugly jacket. I'm going to take the watch off. So the idea is that I'm going to toss the coin into the air, just like that. And as it descends, you want to make sure that you have a sleeve big enough that the coin will drop right into. So and you want to aim it so that it comes to where you want it to land rather than you having to reach. So I want it to land about here, like so. And I'm going to close the hand as the coin falls into the sleeve, like so. And then from this point, you can do anything you want. I used to toss it back to the other guy so that he would flinch, but that was kind of cool. But the idea once more, you can extend the vanish as well. Once you have caught it, once you catch the coin, you can toss it from hand to hand, then make it go. But anything you want to do, but the hardest part is of catching it. So it is really important that the sleeve is wide enough. That's the reason why I've got sleeves on my regular shirt, but they aren't as big. This becomes a huge target. I could pretty much, I don't know, I'll try it. I've got my AirPods. I'll see if I can get my AirPods in here. Here we go. This is either going to be really good or really bad. We'll see. Yep, nope, didn't work. We'll try it again. Yep, nope, didn't work. We'll try it one more time. Yep, got it. So you can do something as big, with enough practice, you can do something as big as a pair of AirPods. But a coin, regardless of the size of the coin, won't make any difference. Boom. Like I said, this is a very bold method. What I would do is I'd layer it. I'd layer it in such a way that it would change into something else. Like if I had like my AirPods, I would show the coin, and then change it that way into something else, because this technique is so bold that you don't want to give them an opportunity to go back and reconstruct and see what happened. So you want to take the heat off of the area and the moment that the magic happened. So I'd show it. I want you to watch this coin. So I want you to keep your eyes on the coin. Don't take your eyes off the coin, because if you watch the coin, boom, I can change it into a pair of AirPods. Kind of cool, right? So take the heat off of the moment where the sleeving happened, especially if the technique is bold, by layering it with other things. That way the magic becomes both more impressive and memorable, but it allows you to recreate or backtrack and cover your steps, if that makes sense. So here's a couple of things that I think you might enjoy. It's going to be a color change and a way to show the hands empty while still concealing an object that creates a nice little sequence that you can do in perpetuity. You can do it over and over and over again. Come on in, let's take a look at this. You'll notice I've got a $50, an American $50. I'll go nice and slow so you can see the moment. It changes to a Chinese coin. If you watch the Chinese coin, I can get it to change back into the $50. And I can do this over and over and over again. Hope you enjoy it. I've had a lot of discussions about both hand washing sequences and color changes. A lot of people are used to spellbound situations where one hand holds and does all of the dirty work while the other hand is shown empty. And the discussion is, especially when it comes to coin magic, and me and Cody were just having this conversation just moments before we shot this, is that with coin magic, it seems like it's a guessing game. If it's not in one hand, it has to be in another hand. So the thing to do is to preemptively strike and to change the perception of where the coin is when, by constantly anticipating where your audience, thinking about their perception, constantly anticipating where they believe the coin is versus where the coin actually is, so that after a while you barrage them so many times with unique changeovers that changes the way that you perform, that they end up giving up, letting their defenses down, and ultimately are able to enjoy the magic. Today's discussion is going to be a color change from a silver coin to a Chinese replica coin. I'm going to begin with this coin in finger palm. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is a thing that I call the true fingertip shuttle pass, or the true fingertip utility switch. So a traditional shuttle pass as a color change would mean that I'd have a coin in finger palm, and as I turn this hand palm down, I would allow this coin to fall into fingertip rest, which means I'm holding it at the fingertips. So it looks like the coin has changed. So here to here. That would be a traditional shuttle pass. A utility switch, or like for instance the Jay Sankey one, looks like that. I'd show the coin, have this coin at the fingertips, and I'd toss it into the hand like this. But as you do this with a flick of the wrist, as the hand gets turned palm down, it looks like the coin, it looks as if the coin changes in midair. Thank you to Jay Sankey for that. What I don't like about either of these is the fact that the coin is always seemingly obstructed. The coin goes into the hand, then is pushed to the fingertips. It goes into the hand, pushed to the fingertips, no matter what you're doing. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create the illusion that the coin is simply picked up from the fingertips and carried over, and as the hands come together, that's when the change happens. So what I came up with looks like that. it really looks like the coin never leaves your view. What really takes place is in this hand, hand's palm up, I'm going to allow this thumb to let go of the coin and it falls into a finger palm position with the fingertips curled in. At the same time, I've got my thumb on the coin here. I'm going to, as soon as the fingertips obstruct the coin from view, I drop the coin into the finger palm. At the same time, the thumb is going to push the coin towards the fingertips and come away. So for just a moment, both coins occupy the same space from the audience's point of view. So in slow motion, the fingers do obstruct it for just a moment, but just enough to hide the action of the coin falling into the fingertips. So it does look as if the coin changes. And the fact that you have this open palm up Ramsey display helps create the illusion that the coin. So that is the true fingertip shuttle pass or true fingertip retention. Now, from this point, there are a couple of ways that I can go to show the hands empty. There are a couple of ways that I can go to create the illusion that the hands are otherwise empty. One is to use a move that's reminiscent, the coin's here, of a striking vanish by David Williamson. I can show the coin, and as I scoop, I toss the coin into the other hand and then drop. So I do the color change, show, and drop. Let me bring it up a little bit so I don't flash. Watch. Boom. The problem is this jerking action, right? So what I don't want to do is I don't want to have that jerking action. I want it nice, smooth, elegant. So what I came up with is something that I feel is a much better fit for this situation, which looks like that. It's much more elegant. I can go as slow as I want. I'll go super slow. And that allows me to show both hands empty as the coin changes. Now what's happening is after I do the color change, my thumb goes onto this coin as the fingers curl in as the hand rotates at the forearm and the wrist. And I literally push this coin into the finger palm. As the hands separate, I open the hand and allow the coin to fall. Again, I do the color change, show the hand, and as the fingers curl and as the hand turns palm up, I push this coin to the fingertips and then show. From the front, color change, it drops. And let's think about what that looks like naturally. If I was to take a coin here and I'd show it, the hands come together. The color change would happen, I would drop. Those are the actions you're trying to emulate. Showing a coin, bringing the hands together, the coin falls. So now a color change, hands come together, and it drops. So it looks very similar to the way it would if you were doing it naturally. And again, this is a move that doesn't require speed, and you're literally using the cover from the forward hand to create the action. Color change, boom. So that again is a very cool changeover that can be done in just about any situation. It doesn't require a very difficult sleight of hand. It's something that I have recently created for another routine, something I can't really share on this particular project, but it works to great avail. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it's useful for you. What's going on, fellas? I wanted to show you something with the coin. You can examine it, make sure it's exactly what it seems to be. Now, I know it feels solid, but I'm going to show you how I can get this to transmogrify, which is a weird word to fucking say, right? If I watch, if I rub it between the hands, I can create the illusion that that coin becomes invisible and actually toss it into the air, believe it or not. If I catch it, I can also get it to come right back. That way you can examine it.
That's dope. That's nuts, man. That's insane.
So what you just saw is one of many attempts that I've had to recreate a way of performing a lapping technique, but without the use of an actual tabletop. There's a magician by the name of Bill Wish, and Bill had a thing called The Art of Using the Knee as a Servant. And what he meant in that pamphlet that he created was, if you're in a situation where you're just hanging out with a bunch of friends at a bar or at a restaurant, then a table may not always be available. But if you want to perform coin magic that would include lapping techniques, then all you have to do is cross your legs like a lot of gentlemen sit, and you can use your thigh and your knee as an actual tabletop. So with the basic premise, you see a coin here, and what I can do is I can take that coin, hold it in the hand, cause it to vanish. Then I can reach into the air, grab the coin, and bring it back. So the idea is that this area will act as the flat tabletop. You will have to modify it depending on how big you are. If you are a bigger person who has wider thighs, when you put your legs together, you won't have any room between your legs here. I'm a thinner person. I used to be bigger, but I'm a thinner person now. So I have to make sure that there's no gap at all. Because if there is a gap, then of course the coin will fall between it. So you need to make sure that the thighs touch one on top of the other as your legs are crossed. But if you're also a smaller person the way I am now, you have to be careful with how you allow the coin to fall into your crotch or onto the other thigh. Because if you allow it to slide, that's what you're looking for. But if you push too hard, then the object may fall off and onto the floor. So you want to allow this to almost slide down the thigh and onto the lap. So we're going to call this like the table edge. We'll call this the actual lap. So you want it to slide down and into the lap and onto the crotch. You can also drop the item flatly, but you have to make sure that you get your angles right. You want to pick up the item and then drop it below the table's edge so that you can come up, like so. Now, as far as the retrieval is concerned, we're going to take it back to the black and white days where Slidini was one of the more popular magicians of the day. What Slidini was known for is making sure that the hands stop and end at the same point. So after he does the lapping technique, he would gesture, then the hands would fall. He'd communicate for a second. Now, while this hand rests on the table edge, the other hand goes to the lap. While it's at the lap, this hand will grab whatever object has landed into the lap. But if you do it like so, watch. Now it just looks like I'm resting. But below the surface, I'm finding the coin that's necessary without looking at it. I'm looking at the audience. So now all I have to do is reach into the air, grab the invisible coin from the air, come forward with the other hand, and do anything I want to cause it to come back. So again, and up to speed, watch. Now that's the basic idea behind using the knee as a servant. What I wanted to do is I wanted to take it another step further and apply a technique that I use when I'm sitting behind the table that I felt has always been really deceptive. So remember, the table edge is here. I can extend the amount of area that I can use to conceal the coin by using the forearm and the back of the hand. Watch what I mean by that. Watch the coin. And again, I can get the coin here. What's happening is I'm literally going to toss the coin into the crotch, like so. The reason you don't see that is because I'm going to place my forearm flat against my upper leg, and I'm going to toss the coin along that path so that it goes towards the crotch, like so, as the action is of me closing my hands around the coin. So a quick jerk, oops, and that went a little bit too far, I apologize. So there's going to be a quick jerk, and the hand will stop, and inertia will allow the object to continue even though the hand stops abruptly, if that makes sense. So I'll show the object, bring the hand forward, and it goes. I'll do it again. One more time. Watch the coin. And you can move as slow as you want, and it will cause the coin to completely vanish. Reach into the air, grab it, and you can bring it back. So that again is my take on using Bill Wish's art of using the knee as a savant. This is a very practical thing to use. Let's say that you want to do something, you can make objects as big as cell phones vanish with the proper misdirection. Things as small as a borrowed finger ring or a piece of candy, but I prefer to use regular coins because they're something that I'm very familiar with. But again, whatever works for you is the right answer. This is the art of using the knee as a savant. I really hope you enjoy it. I've mentioned this throughout the project, that Evanesce is one of the most difficult pieces of magic I've ever created, that I've ever performed. I'm including it here as a discussion with the JW Grip and the JW Grip Muscle Pass, but also as an exercise in stepping outside of your comfort zone to try something new. Most people won't have the bravery. They'll look at it and say, you know what, that's a little too hard, that's just not for me. But for those of you who are willing to step outside of your comfort zone, try something new, you're going to be rewarded with a piece of magic that looks like an absolute miracle when you're in the right circumstances. When you've discerned that you've created a moment or find yourself in a moment where you can perform Evanesce, you'll have a miracle. Remember again that you can do this perfectly for a very small amount of people, for the lens of a camera if you're performing on social media or on a Zoom show, for instance, or on FaceTime. This is an amazing piece. I really do hope you give it a try. This is Evanesce. So one of the oldest accusations that lay people accuse magicians of is using our sleeves. Throughout history, this and pulling a rabbit out of our hat are two of the things that are hugely synonymous with magic and magicians. And I think, for my own thoughts, is that people think that we use sleeves because we poorly used our sleeves when performing, and we telegraphed that an object was going up the sleeve or that we were removing an item from the sleeve. So I thought it would be interesting to have a discussion of a bunch of different techniques that you can use that will require your sleeves to either retrieve or to vanish an item, but in such a way that it doesn't use the traditional method of holding an object in the hand, squeezing it up the sleeve, and then showing the hand empty, which in my opinion telegraphs the moment that the object goes up the sleeve. So in this section, what we're going to do is break apart sleeving in a bunch of different ways and give you some new options that you can use in the routines that you're currently working on to create brand new miracles or add to existing ones. Two of my mentors were students of the late, great Tony Slidini. They each gave me lessons about misdirection. They gave me lessons about how to use my body, my hands, my body language to aid in every single illusion I did. If you go back and read the works of Juan Tamariz, he says the same thing. He says magic starts with your feet and emanates throughout your body. So when it comes to the art of using the knee as a savant, I give full credit, 100% credit to both Tony Slidini and a magician that you may not have heard of, but you should have. He's a guy named Bill Wish, W-I-S-C-H. He's from Jersey, North Jersey, and he sat me down and he showed me the idea of sitting down at a table with my legs crossed and using this platform the same way I would a table. He also has a little pamphlet called The Art of Using the Elbow as a Servant. And I've got some work on that based on his work as well. But I wanted to share some work that I created using this idea of sitting, you know, as manly as you can with your legs crossed in a situation where you can't use a tabletop to lap. I refer you to his work, but the work that we've covered today is all mine. But again, I want you to know that Bill Wish has a pamphlet called The Art of Using the Knee as a Servant that you should definitely look into. I really hope you love this. This is the true fingertip utility switch and the color change. What I love about this is that this becomes one of the most visual color changes that you'll ever see in coin magic. The reason is it doesn't appear as if the coin has ever been obstructed from your audience's point of view, even though it is for a split second. There are very few color changes in the world that have this level of visual appeal. Then the boldness, I absolutely love the boldness of this switch, of dropping the coin from one hand or placing the coin rather from one hand into the other. It's almost mechanical in nature. It's very simple. All of the actions are completely motivated, and it's not as difficult to perform as some of the other switches that are out there. Like, it feels better than even doing a shuttle pass or utility switch in certain instances. It does require a little bit of practice. I don't want you to ever think it won't require practice. Even self-working magic requires practice to become both proficient and to be adept. But I don't want you to shy away from it. I want you to give it a shot. There may be routines that require one or the other from you already. If you're already doing a spellbound routine, then just try this one. Instead of holding one coin in spellbound and just switching it, show that coin at the fingertips and do the switch to get that visual change. I think that might add something. But also remember this, you don't have to do this just as a color change. Remember also that if you have two coins that are the same, then it acts as a shuttle pass. So I can show you a coin and here, and now I can produce the coin here. Or I can make this one vanish, show here, show one coin, and then reach out into the air and grab the other. So you can do it in a production sequence. You can do it to switch a regular coin out for a gimmicked coin so that you can go into a routine. The possibilities are endless and limited only to your imagination. So I do encourage you to give both of those things a try, both separately, together, and then find routines that you're currently working on where you can try to add them in to see if they add any value to you. And I really do hope you find some use for them in your own work. So guys, there you have it. I really hope you've enjoyed all of this magic that I've curated. I hope I've answered some questions that you may have had since Metal 1. The goal here was to make sure that I gave people an opportunity to not only get insight into how my brain works, but also give you some really interesting, slightly off the beaten path magic that you can apply to routines that you're already doing. Sometimes there's a situation where you've been working on a routine and you're saying, you know what, I love this routine, but this part, if this was a little bit different, maybe I would do this routine. Or maybe if I added that part, perhaps this routine could be a little bit stronger than it's been in the past. I'm hoping that you found something in this project that you will be able to add to your own work and take it to that next level, changing it one extra degree to make your magic more impactful. This has been Metal 5. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Please, if you have any questions, you can send them to Eric at ericjonesmagic.com, or you can send your comments to the discussion forums at Illusionist. I'll check it periodically, or they'll send it to me if I miss it. But I want to make sure that we keep this dialogue going because magic is a gift. It's meant to be shared with our audiences, not to just be held on to like a Fabergé egg that we put up inside of a shelf that no one gets to see. We need to share this with all of our friends, all of the world, and that starts with you. Thank you so much again for joining me on Metal 5.